Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and before we get into the whole YOLOSTRATS triple shotty extreme setup, I'd like to tell you a story. So, I was sitting in Paracel Storm spectator mode trying to figure out exactly how the whole levolution thing worked, and I finally figured it out thanks to not only nature, but these brave souls in a boat that probably cost less than a pack of Skittles. But anyways, this is what happened. Lightning struck the wind turbine, first of all, and basically it just got sad and deformed, so it started itself on fire. And then despite the fact that I wanted to say,
"Windmills do not work that way! Good night!"
but I know that's not appropriate because it's a wind turbine and not a windmill. But here's the best part. Not only did these guys break the ship free of the turbine after catching some gnarly air on the trip over, they also raced it to the shore and absolutely destroyed it. So the whole moral of the story here is that I guess during the Levolution event on Paracel Storm, the ship does not go fast. And therefore it goes slow. And therefore I'm not a fan. And I guess with that out of the way, let's jump into the YOLOSTRATS triple shotty extreme. That's the worst voice. I'm not even good at that. But I guess the whole label for this class that I've come up with is the YOLOSTRATS triple shotty extreme setup. And it's pretty dope. So the setup for the YOLOSTRATS triple shotty extreme class starts with the most important item, which is obviously the backpack. It must have a carrying capacity of, I want to say, at least 16 people. And I know you're immediately thinking, Badger, do you even math? You only have 15 teammates, brah. Well, sometimes the commander is straight garbage and doesn't know how to call in cruise missiles on his iPad in Starbucks, and he has to go in there too. So make sure the backpack is clearly large enough to fit at least 15 teammates and your commander. You know what? Just equip the small pouches and the fanny pack too, because number one, your right butt cheek needs comfort, alright? You gotta make sure that it's comfy. Number two, you never know when you'll need some spaghetti in an emergency. And number three, sometimes even the spectators in your games suck, and they need to be... You basically need to toss them on your back too. So the spectators, your teammates, and your commander, you should have capacity for all of those people somewhere on your body. And the next piece is obviously the 3 shotguns, which consists of a primary. I personally chose the 870 MCS because I don't yet have my precious SPAS 12 unlocked yet, in addition to the shorty shotgun secondary and your choice of a shotgun gadget. And this can be a variety of things, like, I don't know, the dart and other stuff, but I personally chose the mass because dat mass, bruh, dat mass. I know I said earlier that you can have 4 shotties, but you can't by default. See how they're all blocked out? They're all red for my second gadget slot. But theoretically, I was thinking about this morning in my dreams. You could go quad shotty if you run a shotty primary, shorty shotty secondary, mass gadget, and you pick up the SPAS 12 somewhere on the map. And that's got to be pretty difficult and pretty ambitious, but we can all believe. And without further shoddy discussion, because I think I'm done talking about shoddy on shoddy on shoddy. Yo dog, I heard you like shotguns. I'll show you how the juggling works and how we dive into the gameplay. The first thing you're going to want to do is obviously spawn at basketball courts, also known as the C flag, so you can not only teach your teammates how to go hard in the paint, how to dunk, but you can also establish a general precedent among the entire map that you're a certified baller. And the way that juggling works, the thing that I've been mentioning so much over the past few minutes, is this. You have your primary shotgun, you get a kill with that, you gotta switch to your shorty, you get a kill with your shorty, and you gotta switch to your mass. Once you get a kill with your mass, you gotta start over again. And I know that looked a little weird there, I got 2 kills, but this is my general exception. You see I've moved on to the shorty here, and then I kill this guy, move on to the mass, kill this guy, and you start over again. But you see how I got 2 kills a few of those times with the same weapon? This is the general exception that I have. If there's multiple enemies in a clustered area, like a really small confined space, I allow myself to get multiple kills with one weapon if I still move on afterwards. So there's a lot of situations where, and you see I still give myself time to reload, but there's so many situations you'll find with this setup where they'll be like, there's like 3 or 4 guys in the middle of this room looking directly into my eyes, then they're gonna feast on me alive. If they're gonna eat me alive, this is gonna be a terrible idea. So I give myself the little bit of the handicap of being able to kill multiple enemies with one weapon as long as I still switch afterwards. Simply because, like I said, if you pop into a room and there's 3 guys all looking at you, the likelihood that you will be able to pop one guy with the 870, switch to your shorty, pop a second guy, switch to your mass, and pop the third guy when they're all looking directly at you. And for how fast weapons kill in Battlefield 3, it's just so unrealistic. And I had so many games where it's a riot how frustrating it is. It's so painful to watch, alright? It's like dedicated wham, alright? I don't know if you guys are familiar with, it's not dedicated ram, alright? It's come on and slam and dedicated wham. I don't know if you guys have seen that video yet, but you should, because I feel so sorry for that kid despite the fact that I'm laughing until I'm urinating all over myself. But you get the general idea of the way it works. Here's a better example. So you get that guy, you switch over to your shorty, and then you switch over to your mass, and the cycle starts over again. So I think you guys are okay with this. I think it's extremely fun, just because I don't know what this guy's deal was. I think there's still... It was weird because blood still came out of that guy. So Yakazura Momji, Mr. Lag Pants over here, I don't know what his deal is, but I guess that's kind of an issue sometimes. I'm not too familiar with the whole netcode issue. I know a lot of you are complaining. Come on, Bush Monster. Sergeant Beefski over here, and that's... Level cap can't handle my dunks. I did not even realize that he was in the server until like halfway through. I was like, oh, so that's who's getting dunked on because they don't go hard. He does not, alright, he does not even scrub, dude. I asked him straight up in all chat. I was like, do you even scrub? He didn't say anything, alright? So I'm pretty well gonna take that as a no. He does not even scrub, clearly. Now, the thing about this weapon setup that you will notice is that, for some reason, you can't aim down sight with the shorty. This weapon that I'm using right now, and I like how it has the emblem on there. That's pretty cool, and that's... Another prime example of something else that you're going to notice is that it usually does not kill in one shot. You've got to have your spread of pellets or your spread of BBs, whatever that actually the shorty fires. You've got to have it pretty well every single one on center mass. So I get level cap. Oh god, dude. The spawn protection. Oh. I guess it's not going to go away. It's never going to go away in any kind of Battlefield game. But justice is served because this guy... I get revived by this savior over here, and I get to run on and keep going around. And that's probably the one thing that you will notice is that oftentimes, so much frustration. Just like, ugh, spawn protection. Why do you even exist? And there's one situation where, yeah, sure, if you do hit him all in the hind parts or right in the butt cheeks, he's probably going to die with one shot from the shorty. But you have to... pretty much be within knife range. Alright, I'm going to call it knife range because there's not a whole lot else that you can do other than, I guess you could switch to your mass, but I think still the mass and your primary are going to be the ones you get the most amount of kills with. Especially, and oh man, that's just, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you're going to notice, I guess the most frustrating part, other than spawn protection that you will notice oftentimes in these little confined domination maps, is that there's going to be situations like this where you're just so boned, alright? You're in an area where you can't really leverage your close quarters prowess because of your current weapon loadout of just man mode YOLOSTRATS shotguns, the triple extreme cheddar, woo! And it's something that you can't always leverage. So there's going to be situations where it's just straight up, you do not have the range to get out of this engagement alive because there's so many guys surrounding you with assault rifles, and you can't fire as far or kill from as far of a distance as they can. You're just going to notice sometimes you're just outranged and you can't really do much about it other than you can kind of cower in the corner. That works pretty well. You could find a nice bush or maybe a rock if you're more of a rock monster instead of a bush monster type person. But this has been the whole shot. I still want to call it the YOLOSTRATS quad shotty loadout, but it's not a quad shotty because they don't allow you to have that 4 shotgun unless you obviously pick up the USAS 12. So I want to thank you guys very much for giving me this idea. It was very fun to use, and obviously the other team, it was basically a mass exodus or purge of rage quitting. I don't know what the whole deal was. The butthurt was flowing through the other team pretty badly. But I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und later.